Alrighty, good morning ladies and gentlemen. It is about 7 o'clock, the night before our first official California Delta kayak fishing trip. We have gone out this year with O and root beer. That didn't end so well, but as I keep re-emphasizing in videos, and as you guys probably know, especially if you're in California, the weather's been pretty crazy. It's definitely been pretty atypical and a lot cooler with rain, storms, all that fun stuff than it typically has been in the past. The river's all goofed up, it's been chocolate milk, water temps are cold. I'm sure these fish are super confused, as well as myself and probably most fishermen that try to catch bass on the Delta right now, but I think it's time to try our luck there. You know, our last video, even though I don't want to remember it too much, it was a tough one. In-N-Out Burger Day, we got kicked off the water within an hour just because of the wind. Now the good thing about tomorrow is it's supposed to be a relatively nice day. We've got a break in the weather. These storms that have been just pretty much non-stop, we got a little break tomorrow. Not as windy, maybe a little bit of sunshine, so I'm hoping that some of these fish on the Delta finally wake up and decide to bite. It's March. These fish, God, you just think they should be ready to go, ready to bite, those big pre-spawn largemouth. So I've got 8 rods, 8 different baits that I think will target these fish. I mentioned this before, but California Delta especially, a lot of rods, a lot of baits, all times of year, because you just don't know exactly what they're going to be biting, what kind of tide they're going to be biting on. If they want something moving, something slow. You can never have too many rods, I feel like, on the Delta. So we got 8 rods tomorrow. We're going to go through them real quick. Again, these are my picks based on history, based on maybe some things that I foresee tomorrow hopefully happening. Let's just get started. Got an A-rig. This is a Dark Horse A-rig with some champ swimmers on there. 3 hooks in California. Figured if the water is dirty, which it probably will be tomorrow, an A-rig with extra flash, bigger profile. If they're bait chasing, maybe even get lucky and get some striper. That would be a good choice. So A-rig, bait number 1. Number 2, a staple for me this time of year, especially on the Delta and really anywhere in the country. Prespawn, a flat-sided crankbait. This is a Fritz side 7. Going with a chartreuse black back, just again because I anticipate this water being dirty. Brighter color, show up in the water better. Like I said, this is the 7. This is going to dive a little deeper, but if we hit an area that's a little bit shallower, we have a bunch of the Fritz side 5 biggins with us as well. Number 3, a bait that you have to have literally with you all year on the California Delta, and that's just a stick bait, 5-inch Senko, black and blue, weightless, my favorite way to fish it. Number 4, going with a jerkbait, but to mix it up, I've got one in a craw color. This one is a 112 plus 1 stunner, so it'll dive a little deeper. Again, we got just some regular 112s as well if we find ourselves fishing shallower, but a jerkbait is something I don't know if we'll get on fish with it, but gotta have it just in case. Next rod, number 5, got a slobber knocker with a little boot tail trailer on there. This is that blue-green pumpkin color, something a little darker, gives off some good vibration. Historically, not recently, but historically in the past, chatterbait pre-spawn catches the biggest bass that I've ever caught. Gotta have that guy with us. Number 6, it is time to bust out the old cheater jig. We've changed our cheater jig color. Again, dirtier water, so I want something that'll stand out a little bit more. So we've got orange and brown, something that I'll probably pitch and soak, let that bait sit. I have a feeling if this gets bit tomorrow, the size will probably be pretty good. Number 7, going with a spinnerbait, the new Berkeley Power Blade. We got a Willow and a Colorado blade. A little different coloration in here. Whites, pearls, orange, chartreuse, and then a little boot tail on the back. And then number 8, our last rod, we've got a punch-in, or really a flipping setup. This is a 1-ounce tungsten weight, and we've got a Boss Grub, black and blue, tied on with a 3/0 flipping hook. Something we can pitch around the toolies, maybe punch into some cover. Those are our 8 rods for our first trip on the California Delta in the kayak. To be honest, I'm a little nervous. I feel like the fishing for me personally has just been really tough. The skunk scare is real, so I'm just hoping we can get on some fish tomorrow. Hopefully they're biting. I hope the river's not completely blown out. So yeah, that is the game plan. We're ready to go. Just gotta wake up tomorrow, load up the kayak, make the drive, launch the boat, and go fishing. Here goes nothing, and I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning for our first trip out on the Delta from the kayak. Good morning, guys. Here we are on the water. First and foremost, gotta shout out everyone from the last video where I posed a question. We had a skunk day, of course. I posed a question to you guys whether or not to post those style videos. I wanted your feedback, and there was an overwhelming amount of people who said, yeah, post the skunk days, post the tough days. I just want to say thank you for all that feedback, and no matter what happens today, skunk day, epic day, anything in between, it's gonna be posted. I've said this before, but I do feel like this channel in a way has been shaped over the years really by the community, by you guys. comments telling me what you like, what you don't like, and yeah, thank you. Anyways, here we are. Just launched. Water is pretty dirty. At least here. I'm hoping the main channel, it'll clear up a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what the water temp is. My temperature gauge has never worked. Little finger stick test, you know, actually doesn't feel that cold. I'd say right around 50, give or take. Got the last bit of an outgoing tide, and I think around 7:30, 8 o'clock, it'll switch. We'll have an incoming tide, and you know, I picked this launch for a couple of reasons. The versatility of it. You know, we can fish the main channel, we can fish some rock, we can fish some marinas, tule points, a couple of islands. It's got a variety of areas the Delta has to offer. That's kind of why we picked it. I'm planning on putting a full day workout here, covering a lot of water, maybe trying to hit that magic window, that bite window, but we shall see. Gotta figure these fish are seeking the warmest possible water or area. I imagine that's in the cover under these kind of tule canopies or anything really. Problem is right now there's just not a whole lot of depth underneath them. These fish have to be tight to cover, or maybe buried in the grass too. It's just like the thing, you wonder, you know, when you're not getting bit out on the Delta, are you just fishing by all these fish, or are they not actually there? It's such a tough call to make. Like in a lake or reservoir where you can use your electronics and you're fishing deeper, yeah, you can like eliminate a lot of water because you can see on your graph literally if there's activity down there. But in the Delta, with it being such a shallow fishery with a lot of visual targets, you just don't know if they're there or not. I feel like a lot of the time they're there and you just fish over them more often than not, but you still can never be too sure. Man, oh man, I'll tell you what, I don't know if it's gonna happen today, tomorrow, a week from now. That first bite, that first tick out on the Delta, oh my goodness, it's gonna feel so good. Don't even care if it's like a 1 pounder. Just getting bit out here again. I'm trying to recall the last time we caught a fish out on the Delta. It's not been this year, of course. Maybe last November? It's been like 4 or 5 months. Man, if there were any pre-spawn fish, I feel like this is where they'd be. Got like some tule berms, 2 islands next to a big marina off the main channel. The water's even a little bit cleaner over here. I feel like if there's any fish, especially like big females, this is where they'd come up and feed, or at least check things out. And again, it's the tricky part with the Delta. They could be here. They just might not be biting. Might not be the right tide. We got the last bit of an incoming, I think, and you know, maybe they eat better on an outgo. The thing is, and it's like more apparent every year, it's just that the tide truly is the biggest factor in determining the bite. Under that tree. That's definitely on the blooper reel. I can't even be mad. Oh wow, that is that's a first. That's disgusting also. Freaking birds, man. I thought I was safe and then that wind changed direction and it's like they lined up right for me. This is disgusting. Oh man, does it ever feel like you're just getting crapped on, fishing wise, metaphorically, and literally in my case? Oh man, all jokes aside, guys, you know what? We knew a day like this was possible. I think it's a little ironic. It was after the last video, which talked about skunk videos, and again, thank you for the feedback because this one will go live. It's March 3rd. It's early March. I probably came out a little premature, mainly because the storms were just a couple of days ago. The river's all choked up, a lot of debris floating around. It's chocolate milk for the most part. I probably should have waited a few more days to come out here to really give myself a chance. That said, I had a game plan today. We went over our 8 baits for this time of year on the California Delta. Picked a launch with a lot of diversity. We could fish the main channel, we could fish islands, riprap, marinas. I actually went all the way back into the one marina. Neither here nor there. Everything we tried today, not a single bite. And we went through every single one of our baits, plus some more. I'd like to say it's partly the weather, the conditions that were making the bite really tough. I'm sure if anyone else fished out there today and saw the river, I mean, if you caught them, holy smokes, that's amazing. But I don't think today was the greatest day to go fishing out on the Delta. You know what? We're not going to end the video there. Persistence. Persistence is the one thing, especially out here, that can pay off. Because if you persist and you keep fishing, you keep trying areas, trying different things, just grinding at it, you're eventually going to run across the fish. And I'm telling you, I mean, I'll just say it. I think when we finally run across these fish, when we finally get bit, when everything clicks, I think we're going to do pretty good out here. So I'm just going to say that. It is actually going to storm the next 2 or 3 days with some pretty good winds. So I'll probably stay away from the Delta during the next few days, but we are going to come back out. I'm not sure how long I'll let those storms rest. The good thing about going again to the Delta and having everything prepared is I really don't have to re-rig anything. Everything's good to go. Just got to wait a few days. We'll probably pick a different launch, different location, and try our luck again. So I guess I'll see you guys in a few days. Alrighty folks, here we are. It's what, like 4 days later? And different location, of course. We did have storms roll through. Yesterday was nice. Today is obviously a very nice day, but man, the water is really dirty. Dirtier than I was hoping, but it is what it is at this point. Got to make it work. Got a pretty interesting tide today. We're outgoing right now all the way up until I think about 1 o'clock. So a dropping water level, and then this afternoon it'll make its way back in. Yeah, I don't know. Got all the same baits pretty much. You know, that confidence meter, it's so funny. It doesn't matter. Typically, it doesn't matter. I'd say every new day of fishing, you start at 100 and you have that confidence. Always thinking you're going to catch fish or do well. I can be honest with you, this is the first day where I think the confidence meter to start is at about 80%. I'm not even joking. I just had a flock of birds fly over me, and about 10 yards to my back left there was the old turd bombs. My God. Don't have that happen again, right? Got a mini bird crap on me. What is the deal? Getting crapped on lately. Jeez. Almost 10 o'clock. Nothing yet. I don't know. Part of me wants to say the confidence meter is going down, but that's not necessarily true. Dude, it's like warm. Feels nice. It actually feels like a spring day. Might even need to shed the jacket soon. Water clarity is about the same. Maybe it's a little cleaner. All these conditions don't mean we'll get bit, but it's making me feel better at least. You know, for what it's worth, I have seen some activity on the graph. Big bait balls. Looks like there might have been a few bigger fish back here. I don't know if they're striper or carp or what, but certainly some life. Just whether or not these bass want to cooperate. Can't believe it, but I'm actually gonna shed the jacket. You know what the sad thing though is? This nice weather. Take a look at the forecast. Boom. Back to rain, and I mean, it's not even, again, it's not necessarily the rain, it's the wind. Look at the wind. 20-mile-an-hour winds. Storms on Saturday. It does get a little warmer on Saturday, Sunday next week, so that's one thing, but these fish have to turn on at some point. I can't wait it out too long. Okay, folks, hot shower and a cold beer later, the Delta has handed us defeat. And by a large margin too. Delta kicked our butt. 2 full days of fishing, 0 bites, 0 fish, big fat goose egg. What can I say? We stunk it up. Now, I guess in my defense, probably not the most ideal conditions to go out on the Delta and try to catch fish right now. Water temps are still sub 50 degrees. We haven't had consistent weather. So yeah, there's those factors, but it still comes down to the fact that, you know, we didn't figure them out. I'm sure there was something that we could have done today, somewhere we could have gone, some bait we could have thrown, maybe fishing slower, but there was probably something I could have done to get a bite, and we didn't do it. As I mentioned, it's kind of ironic that this is the follow-up video to the previous video, which was, well, we won't even talk about it. It's the reality of it. We're in a big fishing slump right now. I think these are some interesting statistics. It's hard to explain. I feel like this year, 2023, especially the past month, has kind of been a false sense of good fishing, so to speak. And I'm not complaining about this, but I think that it does seem when we're in a tournament, whether it be California Bass Nation, Yakka or even the couple of derbies we've done, we've caught fish when I guess it mattered most. But the reality of it is, we'll list the statistics the last, what, 8 8 trips, I believe. Here are our results. That's roughly what, 58 hours on the water over 8 trips. Just not good. Not good. If anybody is struggling to catch fish out there right now, hopefully that little statistic makes you feel better. With all that said, it has definitely been an atypical February and early March now in California. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time before, even with these storms, even if we continue to get pummeled by storms and rain, it's gonna get warmer. I mean, next week I think we're looking into at least the 60s, even though it is gonna rain, but it's gonna get warmer. The water will clear up. These fish will start to bite, get active, and yeah, I guess I'm just excited for that day to come. I'll leave it at that. That's the recap. 2 days, 0 fish. I bow to the Delta. Said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll continue to say it, but I thank you guys for watching, for coming along, not just for myself, but for everyone out there too. Good days of fishing are to come. They will happen, so keep grinding it out, and eventually our luck will change. But with that said, thanks again for watching, guys. Cheers. We'll see you in the next one.